pumpkin.io. It seems a very unique offering and one that is very relevant and much needed, especially in the agri-food business where so many farmers, as I alluded to earlier, are struggling just to access basic funding. Let's talk about the inception point and what gap you had identified that brought about pumpkin.io.
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question. Inspired by our time working with SMEs, inspired by our time working within banking. There are lots of good folks on both of those sides that really want to solve this issue.
Yeah.
For us, that's where the inspiration came from. But what we realized is how difficult it is for the bigger lenders, for the bigger institutions, to work with SMEs, to understand the language of SMEs. Quite often, what's demanded is the reverse. It's demanded that SMEs speak the language of lenders. And that's pretty much what we want to do, sort of turn that around so that we are closer to and speak the language of the SMEs.
Zaheer, if you could maybe explain or share just one of the biggest challenges, financing challenges, particularly for agri-entrepreneurs, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us there's two fundamental challenges, right? And I think it's important to understand and to note the challenges on both sides of this. What are the challenges that the SME faces and what are the challenges that the lender faces and why a business like Pumpkin even exists, right? Yeah. So there's obviously the fundamental problem we're solving is, of course, there's a massive funding gap, right? Not just for SMEs in South Africa, but across the continent, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
The reason that it's so difficult on the lending side is that lenders find it very difficult to make any money off small tickets, essentially. It takes quite a lot of resources for a big lender, to structure a deal. And that's why they tend to focus on the larger deals because they can make a bit of a return on the larger deals. On the small deals, it takes way too much resources for them. The second problem is even if those products existed for SMEs can't access them because they don't have the credit stories, the financial stories, the credit records and financial records essentially, right? Being able to tell a solid credit story about yourself as an SME is a really, really costly thing. It's time consuming. And unfortunately, most SMEs fail before they even get to sort of tell that story. Most SMEs fail because they don't have the capital to survive those shocks.
We are currently in conversation with the CEO and co-founder of Pumpkin.io, Zaheer Dindar. We'll take a quick breather. It's 20 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. A moment for you to send through your questions. If you are in the agri-food business and have questions for Zaheer, please send them through on our WhatsApp line, +2763 406 9126.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Hawa wa Afrika Kusini wenye asili ya kizungu ambao wamepewa ukimbizi huko nchini Marekani. Je, nini chanzo cha wao kuomba ukimbizi nchini Marekani?
Wenyewe hawajaomba ukimbizi. Kuna shirika fulani inaitwa AfriForum, shirika mbili za wazungu ambao wanatetea haki ya wazungu hapa, AfriForum na Solidarity. Hao walienda Marekani kufanya kampeni kusema kwamba wazungu wananyanyaswa hapa Afrika Kusini, na walivyofanya hiyo kampeni serikali iweze kuwafuatilia kujua nini ambacho mnasema kwamba mnanyanyaswa.
Kuna namna ya wao kwamba wamepoteza uraia wa Afrika Kusini, na je, endapo Trump akamaliza muda wake madarakani, uhalali wao wa kuishi nchini Marekani ukoje?
Itakuwa vigumu, kifupi itakuwa vigumu wenyewe kupoteza uraia wao.
Darubini ya Afrika 11 kamili hadi 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters.
It is 22 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. We are still in conversation with Zaheer Dindar, CEO and co-founder of Pumpkin.io, a platform which is helping agri-food businesses thrive. Zaheer, let's talk about how you are going about doing that. I'd mentioned earlier during the intro that there's some financing training, real-world solutions. What do those actually look like?
Yeah. So I guess fundamentally, to solve those problems, we have to use technology. So